This video is my tribute to one of my favourite jazz guitar solos. This solo is always the one that I teach my students as they venture into jazz. It's not the flashiest solo that you've ever heard, but to me it's perfect in its simplicity and how it tells a story. This video is my tribute to Kenny Burrell's great solo on Chitlins Con Carne. We're going to look at one chorus from this right after this. Just before I break this solo down and show it to you, I'd like to tell you about a free beginner jazz guitar ebook that you can download by clicking the link below. This is completely free to you and it's a 62-page in-depth jazz guitar ebook that helps you get started with jazz guitar. Let's get on with the lesson. In this video, I'm going to break down one chorus of Kenny Burrell's solo on his tune Chitlins Con Carne from Midnight Blue. I'm going to try to break this down from a musical perspective and make a case as to why I think this is one of the best jazz guitar solos recorded. Chitlins Con Carne is from Kenny Burrell's 1963 album Midnight Blue. By this point, Kenny Burrell had already played and recorded with John Coltrane and released several albums as a sideman. This is one of his early releases on Blue Note Records and is a fantastic album. If you don't know about this album and you'd like to learn more, then I actually did include this on this video right here that you can go and watch. Most of the Chitlins Con Carne solo is based off the C blues scale, so if you don't know that one, I highly recommend that you learn that one if you don't know it yet. Just for reference, the main box that I'm going to be playing off is the one that starts on the 8th fret, so... Okay, the first lick sounds like this. So as you can hear, a wonderful introductory statement to the solo. I'm starting there on the 5th, on the G natural. And that's the phrase slowly, okay? The next phrase is a descending C blues scale that sounds like this. Okay, so the main thing here is that you get the articulations, the slides, and the feel of the phrase. And it's actually played, this entire solo I reckon is around 130 beats per minute. So the phrases, you know, they can be slightly challenging if you're more of a beginner to completely nail. So that phrase once again, slowly. Literally descending pentatonic, but then you come back and finish on the C. And that's the clever thing about this, is that Kenny Burrell often finishes a lot of his phrases on strong notes, like the C is obviously a strong note in the key of C, so it makes sense to finish your phrase on one of these guide tones. So the first phrase sounds like that. Second phrase sounds like that. The next phrase, we're kind of going into the second position here, and that sounds like that. So we've got 11 to 13, B flat to C, and then once again focusing on these guide tones, right, to a C, then to a G, and then finishing on a C once again. And we're now at the 4 chord here in bar number 5. Okay, so the phrase after this sounds like this. A bit slower. So as you just heard, this is a complete blues phrase but delivered in a jazz style. We start on the 4th and slide into the 5th, catch the flat 7 and then slide back to the 4th again, and then we go to the root, then the minor 3rd and then the root again. So slowly the phrase sounds like that. And that's the great thing about a C blues scale or a C minor pentatonic. It's going to work just great over all 3 of these chords. The last 2 phrases sound like this. So here we have a wonderful phrase that builds up to the 5 chord. It starts on the tonic, and we've got that twice, a bit of double picking going on here. So tonic, 5th, root, and then we've got flat 5. and that resolves to the 7th of the G7 right there. And that's a great phrase to build up right towards the 5 chord. You can hear that chord ringing in your ear when he plays that lick. And of course that just builds up like an uneven climax because you're finishing on the F note. All the other phrases thus far have finished on strong notes against the overall key. So this phrase is crying to resolve, and that's exactly what Kenny Burrell does in the next bar. Wonderful phrase that basically is just a descending blues scale, right? Starting on that flat 5 again. And then he comes up and then finishes on that tonic twice. Then you're back at the 1 chord. The entire solo slowly sounds like this. If you want to add the chords like what I do, I'm basically adding dominant 7 sharp 9 chords in between all of the phrases. This is the chord that I'm using for C7, C7 sharp 9 with the root on the E string. For F7, F7 sharp 9 with the root on the A string, and then for G7, same chord with the root on the A string. So for example, I play the first phrase, then I add a quite comping pattern to fill out the sound in between. Same thing again, second phrase. Then the third phrase. Of course, at this point I'm on to the 4 chord. And then the next phrase. Back to the 1 chord. Next phrase. At this point, Kenny Burrell throws 2 chords in. I can't remember the exact rhythm that he does, but if you want to simplify things, as you've now got 2 chords, you could just strum each chord once, right? So, or you could be a little bit more rhythmical. The choice is really up to you. Following that, we've just got the final phrase, which takes us back to the 1 chord. I hope you found that useful. What I'd like to know is, what is your favourite Kenny Burrell solo? Please share that in the comment section below, and if you want more videos like this, then please don't forget to click the like button.